Until the death of Daddy Lumba, most people did not know spinal metal implant exists. Daddy Lumba suffered from spinal injury. According to his friend turned brother Juaben Fosu, Daddy Lumba had accident in the early days of his career, but he didn't really put much attention on it. Little did he know that it was going to affect his health massively along the line, and so he had spinal metal implant. That is using a metal to support your spine. Do you even know what spinal cord is? What about spinal injury? What is your knowledge on it? And what are the causes? In our day-to-day activity, we get injured, we get involved in accidents, and most of the time, because we do not see physical cuts, physical injury, we tend to see nothing wrong with it. But along the line, it can affect our health massively. This was what Daddy Lumba encountered. So we are going to talk about all these and many more. So stay tuned. You are watching the Lab Doctors channel. Please kindly subscribe to our channel, like our videos, share and comment. Let's do this together. After the death of Daddy Lumba, the internet has not rested for a day. Timakosia Sewa, Timado Brony, and a whole lot about the death of Daddy Lumba. But hey, I am not here to support any camp. I am just here for us to have a health discussion and learn one or two from the incident of Daddy Lumba. And according to the information his friend turned brother Juaben Fosu gave us, that Daddy Lumba suffered spinal injury, and this was as a result of an accident that he had in his early days, which he didn't really pay much attention to, and later came to harm him or affected his health massively, that we all from the outside could attest that Daddy Lumba wasn't fit. So in this video, we will talk about spinal metal implants. What causes spinal injury to result into spinal metal implant? And what to do when you are injured, you involved in an accident, even if you don't see any physical cut, any physical injury, the necessary steps to take. So as we continue to talk about spinal metal implants, where it is necessary for us to put a video, to put an image for you to understand, we will do that. So starting from, what is spinal cord? So spinal cord is the long tube-like column of nerve tissue that extends from your brain to your lower back. It protects your spine. Note that spinal cord is different from spine. Let's get to know what spine is. Spine is the bone that starts from your neck down to your waist. It protects your spinal cord and allows movement. So it is these discs or vertebrae, the scientific word, connected to each other right from your neck down to your waistline is what we call spine. And remember, spinal cord is very key in our human system. When your spinal cord is affected, it affects your entire human system, your movements most especially. Spinal cord disease are a range of disease that can damage or impair your spinal cord, resulting into neurological symptoms or diseases. These are some factors that can cause spinal cord disease. Injection. When you're giving wrong injection, or your injection given by your nurse or your health professional do not hit at the right place, but it hits on the nerves, and improperly done, it can affect your spinal cord. So take note. Secondly, accidents, injuries, just as in the case of Daddy Lumba. Did you know that in the case of Daddy Lumba, these are the three perfect spinal disease that could fix what he encountered due to his accident? We have degenerative discs. So degenerative discs is where your discs or your vertebrae start to wear off. Secondly, we have spinal fracture. In his case, he might have experienced fracture in any of his spinal discs. And then lastly, we have spinal instability. So these are the three spinal disease that best fit the situation that Daddy Lumba went through, to the point that he had to undergo spinal metal implants. Let's talk about spinal metal implants. Spinal metal implant is where a metal, often made from titanium, is used to support or replace your spine, not necessarily your spinal cord. This spinal metal implant is mostly done in these three conditions. First, we have the degenerative discs. So when your disc has weared off, okay, then there is a need for your medical team or your doctors or your health practitioners to support your spine with metal. That is where spinal metal implant is done. Secondly, we have spinal fracture. It depends on how severe your spinal fracture is. And so when it's very severe and there is the need for your medical practitioners to support your spine or replace your spine with a metal, that is where you undergo surgery to have spinal metal implant. And lastly, in a situation whereby one suffers spinal instability, then the person undergo spinal metal implant. Now, let's look at the exact work the metal performs in your spine. First, this metal is used to infuse your spinal disc. And so when you experience an injury, an accident, and you have one or two of your spine injured, then there is the need for this metal to be used to fuse your spine together. So this is what you are seeing on the screen. You can see that in this situation, this individual had one or two of his spine injured, and so there was a need for them to use the metal to adjust or fuse it together for him to function properly. Secondly, the metal is used to replace degenerative discs. Degenerative disc is a disc or a vertebrae that has wear off. So in this situation, there is the need for them to replace your discs or your degenerative discs with this metal who work perfectly for you. Thirdly, this metal provides structural support to your spine. Lastly, we have spinal fusion and then artificial disc replacement. So in this situation whereby your medical team or your medical doctors realize that you will need artificial disc replacement, these metals are put together in such a way that they can function exactly just like your spine. Let's take note that it is not only titanium that can be used for spinal metal implant, but we have stainless steel and then polymerase. All these are metals that aid in supporting your spine or your spinal cord to function properly when there is any abnormality such as degenerative discs, spinal fracture, and spinal instability. These surgeries are very expensive, and so it cannot be afforded by an average Ghanaian. This is the reason why I'm advising you that when you have an injury, an accident, and you don't see any physical cut, you don't see any physical injury, please do not think you are okay. The best thing to do is to visit the health facility for checkup, because you can have an internal bleeding. Any of your bones or your organs could be affected. I know someone is asking, is there no side effect to this spinal metal implant? Oh yes, you are right. There is a side effect, okay? Risk factors such as infection. You know that the spinal cord is a very sterile and a sensitive, delicate organ in the body. And so if the surgery is not done properly or under a sterile condition, you can get infections. Aside that, you can experience bleeding. You can also experience an inflammation. And lastly, the metal do corrode. And so it is advised that when you have a spinal metal implant, you are mostly advised to visit the doctor when there is any abnormality or when you start feeling any abnormality, most especially at your spinal cord area. Visiting your medical practitioners or your doctors will help them to examine you to see if there is any corrosion, if there is any abnormalities, bleeding, inflammation, and all that, to correct the situation to help you. Note that people who undergo spinal metal implant has a survival rate of 70 to 95. So it is a very good option when you have a problem with your spine. Remember, you are watching the Lab Doctors channel. Please kindly subscribe to our channel, like our videos, share and comment. Please, to the fans of Daddy Lumba, this video is for educational purpose.